Okay, and after a few days, we are back with more Everlasting Summer. So, obviously, you guys know I started a few other games on the channel. I kind of have to do that, basically, because I mentioned before how, uh, uh, even though I like this game, being that it is a VN, there's only so much gameplay you get out of it, since it kind of does a lot of reading. And since, I started from the beginning and trying to do all the routes, sometimes you need a little something to kind of motivate you once in a while. So I just started the Final Fantasy IX series, so we'll see how that goes. And then I got the Fable game up there. So there are a few different ways that I kind of do little varieties and stuff like that on the channel. But Ilyana's route should be coming to an end. And then things should be getting back to the good bits of doing this. Once I start Miku, I think that's when things will kind of get back to the positive a little bit. But at least this route is coming to an end at some point, so that's the other good thing. So okay, so obviously the last time we left off, they ended up someplace I can't even remember now, and she ended up laying like this, and yeah, so I think they went into the what was it? Shurik. I mean not Shurik, but Electronic handed Semyon some type of key for their club, right? So that's pretty much kind of how they ended up here. So we're gonna see where this goes, but I made sure I had the walkthrough up hand just to make sure that there's any no more choices or not. Apparently there is with her. So there are two more choices that have to do with her. One is to go for a good ending and a bad ending. So I can care less what her bad ending is. So I might as well just see what the good ending is and then just kind of get it over with. All right, so let's see where this goes. Well, she asked without looking up, and I gotta get my voice back because you put a game off. That's the other downside. Is like I'm the type of gamer. I don't know. Since we're all kind of different, right? Uh, when I start playing other games, I can sometimes tend to forget that I'm doing this one. It's like, just remember, yes, I'm still doing this. It's like you got people that are watching this as well as, uh, I don't know. It's kind of how that works. You gotta have to kind of remind yourself a little bit. It's like, don't forget you have something else out there you gotta finish. All right. I noticed an unusual note in her voice. Why aren't you sleeping? Look who's talking. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Time was passing treacherously slowly. I decided to wait at least another 10 minutes before the next time I checked. But the seconds seemed to be hours. My eyes began to slowly close. Okay, I struggled to stay awake. I blinked for a moment and woke up, only to realize that my state was close to unconsciousness. Maybe just close your eyes for a minute. What's so terrible about that? With her, I have no idea. Closing your eyes around this girl, who knows? The thought flashed through my head, and immediately I drifted off. Oh, so they did fall asleep. Let me guess, they're probably gonna get caught, aren't they? And I'm gonna guess this is gonna lead to days. Oh wait, never mind. Day 7. Okay. Ah, well, it does say the choices goes into day 6 and 7. That's a little unusual so far that I've seen anyway. Everybody else's choices that I've seen, Slavia, Lena, um, probably well, Miku's the only one that doesn't go by a number type point type thing. You just play her out just like you do Eula. But I'm just talking about the main four. Uh, she's the only one that's got a choice that goes into day 7. Nobody else does. That's kind of funny how that works. There are probably worse things in life than falling asleep while being cuddled by a little girl. And how you describe that just makes it sound so awkward there, Semyon. And now the door opens and armed men leap towards us. Are they armed men with machine guns? Or are they cops from the future? I don't know. Might want to be careful what kind of armed men are coming in there for you. I can't make out what they're screaming, but their intentions are clearly far from good. Nah, I'm not scared at all. Rather, I'm embarrassed or even ashamed. When I opened my eyes, it took me some time to realize where exactly I was. In a dark room. It was dark in here. Only a dim light was gleaming under the floor door. Why did they make storage rooms without windows? Ah, dust. Well, lots of different reasons, honestly. So people can't see in it. I don't know. Although obviously that's the way it should be, but why on earth would anyone bring a TV set and a VCR in here then? People use different things for, I don't know, different reasons. I cursed the architects of this building in my mind and shook Ilyana by her shoulders. Come on, get up now. She stretched, and as were lying together, I could see her sleepy eyes even in the dark. Well, let me sleep. Ayana tried to turn away, but I firmly grabbed her shoulder with my hand. I don't know what time it is, but regardless, it would be smart for us to get out of here. Not now, later, she whispered, half asleep. I said, wake up, come on. I jumped up and easily pulled her to her feet. Uh, Let me guess. This little scene here is probably gonna lead to some type of choice, isn't it? And it's gonna be one of those odd choices that I'll have to make because the way that this game goes sometimes, like you're forced into something you have to decide. It's like, how would you make this decision in real life? I don't know. I'd probably go about it in a completely different way here, but I have to go by what the walkthrough says. I don't know. Moaned Ilyana with frustration in her voice. I started to look for the light switch, but then suddenly heard footsteps outside the door. Coincidence, right? My heart sank. Why so early? We have a truckload of work to do. No time to waste. You know that we have to do it all before the departure. I don't even think they are even aware that they're even in this shed, or this storage room anyway. Alright, fine. It looks like our two amped up cybernetics are paying a visit to the clubhouse before the break of dawn today. Shh. I whispered to Ilyana. And what's the... She didn't manage to finish her sentence as I silenced her with my hand. Yeah, you probably would have to do that with this character. Well, I understand all that, but we might at least have waited until breakfast. Oh, so you have something else to do? Not really. I heard some hesitation in Electronic's voice. Sure you don't want to head off to the library bright and early again? Hadn't the slightest intention. Hadn't the slightest intention. He replied fretfully. Oh yeah, sure, if you say so. Soon the work kicked off behind the door. Work? I could hear hammer strikes, machines rattling, and electronics buzzing. That early in the morning, that would drive me nuts. I don't know, somebody doing that kind of stuff that early. And it looks like it's just night. Doesn't even look like the sun has come up yet. Electronic and Shirk were discussing their own matters, so I wasn't paying much attention. And who works that late at night anyway? I don't know. Certainly not me. I'm more of a night person than I am a day person, but I don't know. Just depends, you know. I certainly don't do any work at night, though. That's for sure. I was more interested in knowing when they'll finally leave the building. Rather soon, breakfast time is coming. But if we take Shurik's passion into consideration. Let go of me. Ayana finally wrestled her way out, but didn't raise her voice after all. Well, I kind of did, since it looked like she wanted to say something. But does she not realize that what situation she's in? Probably not. Why can't we just leave? You want to explain that? How will that look? You two coming out like that in the dark, you know, in this place? She asked under her breath. And what do you think? It's all fine. Why, what's the problem? You are the problem. That would be it. Well, we've spent the whole night here together. That line right there, just imagine, Uh, what's her name? It's like, where you guys been all this? Olga. Okay. Ask that question, and then this is the line he says. Good Lord. Can you imagine? There would be no exit for you at that point. And it's obvious what they'd assume, considering I'd taken the precaution of closing the door. So? What do you mean, so? I tiredly sighed. And trust me. Just trust me. I know that it doesn't matter to you, but it does to me. Okay, fine. We'll keep hiding here. Agreed Oyana resentfully. I was prepared to wait for a long time if necessary, but barely a couple of minutes later the front door opened and somebody came in. Good Lord. Good morning, guys. Slavia. Good morning. Morning. It was Slavia. I just wanted to ask if you happen to have any sticky tape. We do, somewhere. Replied Shurg thoughtfully. Take a look in the back room. These words gave me goosebumps, and I grabbed the door handle in a stranglehold. Slavia approached the door from the opposite side and tried to pull it open, but I was straining against the door with all my strength. Good Lord, how is this gonna go? I don't know. This scene is getting kind of amusing, but I don't know. It's a little awkward too, though. It's locked. It can't be. We never locked that room. Let me try. Shurg yanked the door handle, but nothing happened. Although it took a lot of effort for me to hold it steady. You gotta be one of the strongest people out there to know the two people try to hold onto a door and try to yank it from you, and it still ain't opening. I call a little bit of logic on that one. It's stuck. Give me a hand here. In a few moments, they were trying to open the door together with electronic. And with no window, obviously they have no way to escape when you come back to that. I grasped the handle as if my life was depending on it, but regardless, this was a short struggle. My hands quickly gave out and I let go. Oh boy. The door slammed open and the bright sunlight blinded me, so I couldn't see the startled faces of Shurg, Electronic, and Slavia for the first few seconds. Good morning. Morning. I'm seeing dark, and you're coming in here with turning a light on tells me it is not daylight out. I mean, but depending on how morning it is. I mean, some people consider 5 in the morning, but I don't know. Certain times in a year, though, it's usually a little bit darker. Usually, sometimes around 5 o'clock. And then usually the sun don't start coming up until a little bit after 6. Sometimes even a little later, I've noticed. Oyana was standing behind me so that I couldn't see her, but I could feel the embarrassment in her voice. Usually when it's summer, I think, like, day comes a little bit, like, a little later, because usually, daylight usually lasts longer than it does during winter, so it's kind of like, I don't know. What are you doing here? Asked Shurg, almost as if he wasn't surprised. He looked surprised to me. Well, to tell you the truth, we were watching a movie. Oyana brought a tape, and you have a VCR here. What kind of movie? Just, I don't know. You can see where this is all could go. This could all go wrong watching a movie. Oyana brought a tape, and you have VCR. Yeah, what were you watching? That tape. I always said I didn't say it the last time when they were in there because they ended up watching, what was it, Terminator or something. What if there was another VHS tape there and he grabbed it by mistake and just popped it in and it turned out to be something else entirely. Oh God. Because you know what, these VNs, they could do that, right? Like, they've known to do stuff like that where it's like, did you pick up the wrong tape? I don't know what I picked up. There was just something there. And you blushing just makes this seem so awkward. I gave Oyana a nudge in the side until she got the message and displayed the tape. Good Lord. Hey, what's that movie? Good Lord. This what I'm talking about. This whole scene, they're just making it seem like, I don't know, something else is going on here. And her look just doesn't help. A barely visible grin across Electronic's face. Just a regular film. A thriller. The latest thriller. A regular film. Why don't you just call it? We were watching the Terminator, the movie, you know? But obviously, because it's a VN, they can't really say that, can they? So I guess they have to use some other dialogue for that. Then I imagine what he and others were thinking right now, and I was overwhelmed with rage. If you think we, nothing like that. Oh, jeez. Oh, this is the choice that I'm gonna have to make. Now, why do you give me a choice like this game? Like, if you really think about it, like, how is this anybody's fault, really? I mean, they both just kind of ended up here. Now, the bad choice here, if you go with that's all her fault, you get a bad ending. The choice, though, if you want to complete her route and it doesn't go anywhere, you want to say that it's all my fault. This is what I'm talking about with some of these choices. Like, how is it? I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, he did. They did come here, but wasn't it her idea? I'm not really. I don't even remember whose idea it was to come here. He had a key, and that was about it. You know. Ah, but it's the only choice that I see. Some reason I didn't really see where it says try to stop her verbally. I don't really see where that was. Maybe it's a different choice for something else. I don't know. But let's go with this bottom one here. See where it goes. I should pick this top one just to see what happens. But I don't feel like it. Nobody's accusing you of anything, said Slavia without looking at me. Well, she's looking at me, so I'm seeing her eyes. So wherever you're looking, maybe she's looking off somewhere else. I have no idea. Those blue eyes get you every time. At least there's one sensible person among all present here. Yeah, she added under her breath. What? Everything was exactly as he told you. Ileana joined the conversation. We were just watching a film and then felt sleepy. It was so late. We didn't think anything. Just a stupid situation. Come on, enough. Electronic tried to put it off with a jest. I think Olga Dmitrieva would be the judge here. Oh boy, that's a different expression. I didn't think that would be your reaction. Not really sure what to think there. Slavia said in a cool voice. Is that a cool voice? That's not the expression that I'm getting. This face, anyway. But then again, you know, I mean, with the way that she is, you know, she's kind of a nature girl. So for her to kind of get a different vibe, obviously, you never know, right? Uh, I don't know. She did stumble into upon something that she probably didn't really expect here. So I don't. Maybe her reaction is probably, I don't know, different than maybe what I thought. Hey, wait. Why take this to the camp leader? Who else? But you see, we're telling the truth. I am not the one to judge. Damn it, then who? You have seen everything with your own eyes. That's what I calculated to decide. Ah, really now? Come on there, Savi. I don't know about that one. You were winning some brownie points. You're losing some here a little bit. I feel like I'm kind of put onto the chopping block. But then again, maybe that choice that I just picked is probably it's all my fault. Why I'm getting this reaction. Good lord, game. I ain't asked for this game. Took one of my favorite girls here and said she feels like she's staring cold souls to me. Feels like she's saying this stuff to me. Nah. First of all, I wouldn't even be in this situation with this character. But I obviously, because I'm playing a route, you know, this would never occur for me if this was real life. But just wait. I appeared before the door in a single bound and blocked her way. Listen, this is none of my business. Slavia was trying to avoid my gaze. It seems like she's also uncomfortable about the situation. I am just obligated to. Whom are you obligated to? Why do you need to do this? Because she was unable to find the words to finish. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to tell anyone anything. Semyon, no offense. I'm trying to strike a balance between what is going on here. Obviously, because he kind of pointed the finger at himself, but I don't know the way he's kind of going about it though. He's kind of making it seem like something happened back there. It's coming off a little bit more suspicious than he was making himself sound here. Like, yeah, it's like there's a way to defend yourself, but there's also another way of defending yourself that sounds more like you definitely got something to hide. That's kind of the way. Maybe that's the vibe that I'm getting out of this. I don't know. You guys can let me know how he's coming off here, but that's kind of what it seems like because him stopping her, it's like. But then again, she did mention about Olga, and he's not really about her. But I don't know. I'm not really sure what to think of this scene, but it's interesting. No, she said nervously, but then raised her head and gave me an intense gaze. I'm sorry, Semyon. Just leave her. Let her go. I turned my head to Iona. This fraction of a second was enough for Slavia to slip out of the clubhouse. Wait, just wait. I yelled at her as she ran, but it had no effect. Pursuing Slavia in a futile attempt to prevent her from going to the camp leader made no sense. If she intends to, it can't exactly tie her up. I can't exactly tie her up. She can't prove anything anyway. No, but you guys are definitely coming across as guilty as hell. I don't know. That's the way it sounds anyway. Even though I know nothing happened back there because I watched the scene. But, anybody else is going to think something else entirely. Who cares whether she can prove anything or not? I'm sure you do, Semyon. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying this. Don't you understand your position in all of this? In any situation, you're involved in your guilt is a foregone conclusion. Moreover, in a case like this. Well, we are responsible together then. She smirked trickily. If this was Miku, I don't think this would happen. Because the way that she goes about things, he more or less tries to blow her off, right? So, I don't know. I'm trying to picture if this was Miku's spot. She would not go about this like that, If she wanted him, like, she usually comes to him rather than the other way around. This character, it's like, yeah, she comes to him too, but it's in a different way of how she comes to him. And I don't know, it makes for an awkward situation sometimes. Miku, it's more like she just kind of bumps into him on occasion. It's like, how you doing here? Can I help you with this? Can you help me with this kind of thing? That's usually, her MO, right? I left the building and sat on the stairs. Well, we will be on your side just in case, right? Sure? I think so. I don't clearly understand what happened here, but presumably nothing that worrying. Nothing did happen here, but I don't know. Your eyes tell a different story. Okay, we are going for breakfast. Soon we lost sight of them. Let's go and eat as well, Ilyana said cheerfully. Food is all you think about. Why bother crying? What would it change? She was right about that at least. We just have to wait for the camp leader's decision. Let's just go. I mean, what is she gonna do? Ground you? I mean, I don't know. At this point, I guess it really doesn't make a difference with her. We headed to the canteen. All the camp had gathered for breakfast except Olga and Slavia. Oh boy. It might be for the best, I guess. So, for once, I guess, because considering usually Slavia is usually always calm-natured, I have to say that was a little different than I was expecting from her. That's usually you don't see that side. I mean, well, I can't say that because in her route she did periodically make some expressions that are a little different. but they weren't outside of the out of the norm though. And usually she's more understanding of different things. Like you go when I go back to her route, when it came to Ayana, she said that she could be misunderstood and this and that. But outside of that, though, um, I I don't know. It's a little bit different how they used her here. I have to say, it's definitely a little different that I'm used to seeing her as. Anyway, I still like her, but that point there kind of made her lose some brownie points in this route though a little bit. I don't know. Ayana asked me cheerfully when we took our food and sat. The same thing. Because the way that came across is like, oh, you are you kind of a tattletale? You gotta go tattle on me, kind of thing. Is that it? Like you have to tell, so and so, what that is. Come on, stop worrying about nothing. Maybe it's nothing for you. Well, really, what was particularly bad about that? And as I mentioned, that choice that I picked, supposedly that was supposed to be for her good ending. This does not feel like a good ending the way it's going so far, but we'll see where it goes. Every situation can be interpreted from different angles, and especially if you have a reason. Come on, what's the worst that could happen? Our camp leader, she's a bit eccentric. Isn't? Well, maybe so. But we didn't do anything like that. Anything at all. And you even mentioning anything like that, like, why would that even come up? Like, I don't know. It's like, so awkward. I'm coming into something I shouldn't have stumbled into, but as I mentioned, I have to finish this route one way or the other. She believes that, too. My relationship with Ayana had improved dramatically lately. At first, I only saw her as a naughty, ill-mannered child, but now I started to see the good sides of her character. What sides? We only ever see one side of this person. Like, I mean, I always say, with VNs and other games, it's always good to have a comic relief character sometimes to kind of break up, tension in a game. But with her route, though, it's all the time, though. And once in a while, you kind of need a little bit somebody to be a little more serious once in a while, like to strike a balance with them too. That's kind of why while I don't mind the route, I agree with a few subs of mine that it's definitely not my favorite either. Alyssa, to me, I think had a better route because even though she kind of goes about things in a similar manner, she's kind of an energetic character as well. But she goes through different personality changes, and that's what made her route to me a little more enjoyable in that regard because she didn't always stay as just this, I don't know, brat kind of thing. I don't know. This character, it's like she's always like just kind of one way constantly, and you never could take them serious. And then when they say things, it's kind of like, what in the world are you talking about? It's like, although there weren't too many. As like I mentioned, the rape comment a while back, when I made, I don't know what part it was. It was like earlier part of her route, and I said, how does this dialogue get put into the game? And it's like, does this come up in at all? It's like, we're not actually going to do anything with this. Yeah, but I have to read that, and it's just so awkward reading the dialogue because it's like, would you actually try it? And then Semya's reaction to it wasn't what I expected. I don't know. And now, just when everything was starting to work out, a hard conversation with the camp leader loomed ahead. Oh boy. Maybe I just dreamt everything that happened, and Slavia's reaction this morning was just caused by surprise. Enjoyed your meal. Olga was hanging over me. Oh boy. She looked at me menacingly. Yes? Would you mind explaining your behavior? Mind explaining what? Well, for example, how you happened to be in the cybernetics club utility room. Where did you get the K? What were you even doing there? I recalled the circumstances in which I obtained this cursed key. I should speak to Electronic about that. If Slavia told you our version, we were watching a film. Diana claimed seriously. The whole night? The camp leader asked sarcastically. Then I just fell asleep and Semya stayed with me. And so there was no chance for you to go to your cabins. Not even a tiny bit. And what are you gonna say? Well, it sounds really stupid, but she's right. You expect me to believe that? Well, it's the truth. I can't really accuse you. I can't really accuse you of anything. The camp leader started slowly. But on the other hand, this entire situation is beyond normal. Pioneers must not behave this way. I mean, he is kind of reverted back to a teenage age. What harm could he get? What kind of trouble could he possibly get in as a 17-year-old? I mean, maybe, I don't. The worst thing is, some dad out there might put a gun to his head, maybe. That'd be it. You couldn't lock him up, especially if she's a willing participant. Even though, me, as somebody who's like in their early 30s, yeah, reading this kind of dialogue, the idea of this character is only 14, you have to kind of pretend that you're not this person, like, because even though I'm not, it's like you can't help somebody, but even somebody in their 20s, even their early mid 20s, could probably come across this and it's like, this is a little bit awkward to read. Yeah, I can imagine. But on the other, oh wait, and there are too many inconsistencies in your story. We get it. I agreed fatalistically. This woman never really believes whatever he says, though. I will do the following. Ayana, you are in detention. You will be confined to your cabin, and I will decide what to do with you later. I looked at Ayana tentatively. Contrary to my expectations, she didn't look upset. Clearly, I do not think this is your fault. But to be fair, great, you know where to find me in case you need me. So basically, we had to go through all that. That my fault. Basically, choice just basically brought the wrath of whatever down on this guy from this game. It's like it felt like I was getting scolded. I don't know. And then, yeah, guys, that is supposedly a choice you have to make. I don't know. It's like for her ending kind of thing. It's a little weird. Ogre didn't try to stop her. There's always too much trouble with her. And she caught you in all this. I don't really get what she got me into. And you seem to be too harsh on her. She'll be another pioneer like her. That face. What's with that? I mean, yeah, you got a point, but I don't know about this face, though. But usually when you see that, you could tell she's like, okay, I don't really buy what you're saying for a second, but it's kind of like I'm laughing anyway, just because I feel like it. I don't know. When she receives attention for misbehaving, that's another story. But here, actually, I don't really understand what is indeed going on. But my duty is to look after your moral character. And the situation is suspicious, highly suspicious. I mean, yeah, you can kind of understand that part of it. I mean, I can relate there. But I was, Slavia did mention back there, it's like she's not the one to judge. But the way that she kind of came across, it's almost like if she was judging. I don't know. I still can't get over that scene. I'm going to tell on you kind of thing. I don't know. I didn't expect that because she's usually the opposite of Olga. I don't know. Olga pondered for some time. Today is the departure. But in these circumstances, what? What departure? I jumped up the word. The term is ending today. This is the last day. What? It was the only response I could squeeze out. The last day, meaning I'll finally be able to leave this damn camp. Maybe it's time for my suffering to end and I'll get back to my ordinary reality. But why so suddenly? Said, for who? I talked about it in the lineup. She has a point. At the lineups, I was usually sleeping or looking around and didn't really listen to the announcements. Maybe you should have. And at what time? At about 5 o'clock. Don't forget to get ready. I hardly have anything to pack. She stood up, took a tray, and was going to leave. So what's going to happen to Ayana? I don't know yet. I told you. She will probably leave later. How's that? Not with everyone. Well, yes. Is that normal? I was truly surprised. What's wrong with it? I don't know about wrong, but it's quite strange for sure. Well, I still have work to do. I dug aimlessly at my porridge, which had gone cold long ago. Departure, the possibility of getting out of here. But on the other hand, Ilyana. I myself felt guilty before her. In the end, she was penalized while I, at the same time, wasn't. That's not fair. No, it's not like I wanted to share her misery, but I don't think that's fair that she sits there locked up. Well, there is still some time before leaving. It should be quite enough to make the situation clear. First, I decided to talk with Slavia. I hope she has calmed down. I've gotten used to finding Slavia at the square, so I went there without any doubts. And I'll call this apart for now, and I'll come back. So, kind of call it a little bit of somewhat of a cliffhanger. Not quite, but it sounds like it's getting towards the end here to what they're talking about at the last, what Olga mentioned there. So, pretty soon he's gonna all of a sudden just appear back at his old place like nothing ever happened. I don't know. But I don't know. Interesting route, but I don't know. Interesting part, I gotta say, going through this. But I don't know. There's certain parts that make me cringe sometimes. I don't know.